Come with us for a trip to the zoo and an honest review of the Alber eFix. Woo! Now, I've worked with this product for years, but there are still some things I learned after an entire day of using it. So for context, I had the pleasure of taking out my new Uncle Matty out for the first time. He's here visiting from the UK, so this is our first family day out to the zoo. The eFix is a power assist you can add to a wheelchair. The wheels have motors in them which can help the carer push the chair, but you can also switch it over to the joystick for the user to drive. What a view. And you can still push the chair like a regular chair in case you want to go zoomies. And then once you engage the motors, all the push comes from the electric wheels. This made pushing so much easier. You can control the speed with the little speed dial over here, which gives you absolute control for when you want to go faster, or if you're in some tight spaces and need to go a bit slower. The eFix is quite unique in that it has an intuitive drive control, which has sensors that detect when you're trying to turn. Crazy, right? So not only does it give you forward assistance, but it also gives you turning assistance. And this is unique across other similar products on the market. My feedback, it works absolutely amazingly. But even though I know how to use it, I still found myself pushing to turn, which gave my wrist a bit of pain after a couple hours. However, I knew this was on me and not the product, so I just had to keep reminding myself not to push it like a regular chair. It's hard not to, but you gotta let the motors do its thing and don't try to manhandle the chair like I did. Honestly, all you gotta do is apply like finger pressure to the side sensors. Don't overdo it, just relax into it, and after a while you get used to it. You just have to keep reminding yourself, don't push the chair. And speaking of pushing the chair, going up hills was so much easier with the assist, especially because Matty's like 6 foot something. Honestly, I have no idea what we would have done if we didn't have this assist, because Taronga Zoo actually has a lot of hills and it was about a 32-degree day on this day. And I was a sweaty boy even with the assist. I did find that because of the backpack full of water bottles, if we were going up a hill that was too steep, Matty and I would have a little bit of a chuckle because the chair would tip backwards on the anti-tips. It was fine, but the chair can certainly get away with you when that happens, and we found that leaning forward or me pushing Matty on the back was quite helpful. Did the battery last all day? Absolutely. We took it out from morning to afternoon, up and down hills, and by the end of the day, the charge was still at 55%. I did find those little anti-tippers to be a little bit annoying, especially because I was wearing pluggers and I did have a toe injury and I kept thinking I was going to kick it. So I'd prefer if they weren't there, but they were very helpful, especially when you're going up hills. Surprise, surprise. Matty was also a great driver. Now, Matty does have an intellectual disability, and I was told he'd be quite a nightmare, but he was actually able to learn how to drive the wheelchair quite well by the end of the day. And yeah, we did have a few knocks, and we had to take some extra caution in tight spaces, but he really surprised everyone on what he could do, which just is another example of how expectations can have an impact on people's level of independence. He wasn't a perfect driver, he wasn't fully independent, but by the end of the day, he was much better than when he started, and he had a lot of fun. Oh, how good was that transition? Managing public transport was fine, and Taronga Zoo was mostly accessible. You do have to have a map to make sure you know where you're going because there are some stairs, but mostly fine. Now for the bit that nobody talks about when you're pulling apart the eFix. Now the eFix has these little jack up anti-tip wheels, which are fantastic because it allows you to have 2 hands to slide the wheels out, which is great, right? But I'm telling you now, if you're not on a flat surface, that chair will roll away because it's on wheels, or it might just like topple over. So you do have to be careful. You can see there the foot sort of kicks out, and then even though you can still fold it up now, those anti-tippers still stick out quite fast and you have to still pull the anti-tippers out. It's just a long process. This is why when I say whenever you're doing a trial, do the whole trial, make sure you get it all the way into the car so you truly experience what it's like to get in there. But that's my review on the Alber eFix. I hope you'd enjoyed it. If you have any questions, shoot them down in the comments below. Bye!